kiddos, today we're going to be creating a canvas. So go ahead and grab your materials. You will need your canvas. Go ahead and unwrap the outside, have it ready to go, and then that is actually going to be set aside. You are going to need your styrofoam balls that were in your kit. You are going to need a toothbrush. I tried to put them in your kit. Locate that one. It has to be an old one because you're never going to want to put this in your mouth again. You need somewhere to put your paint. I have a paint tray. You can use a paper plate, and you're going to need at least black, white, and yellow for your paint. So you can grab those paint colors. The other thing you're gonna need is your Model Magic. So the Crayola Model Magic that you have is gonna be in little tiny containers all together. And so mine, actually, I'm just now opening this and the blue is dry, so I don't really like that. Let's go to the yellow. So you'll go ahead, yours have already been pre-packaged from the big one that I have. So go ahead. Oh my goodness, there we go. Should be nice and squishy. Go ahead and get those balls out. You are also going to need a knife. The knife, mine is a serrated kitchen knife. You need a grown-up to help you with this part. So get a grown-up, get the knife and the grown-up, we're only gonna use you for about 2 minutes. Once that's over, then we'll move on to the next part, which you can do without adult supervision. So last thing you need are paint brushes, rinse water, and I recommend having a hair dryer close by so you can dry your artwork. All right, see you in a bit. Alrighty, you should have all of your supplies gathered. The first thing that you are going to do, this is the one with the grown-ups help, you're gonna get a knife. You are going to take each styrofoam ball and you are going to slice it in half. Now I can do it this way. See that? And I have 2 halves. They don't even actually have to be perfectly even, but you want 2 halves. I am only gonna use 2 of mine. I'm gonna use one of the bigger ones and I have a smaller one. Pop them in half like that. You also, with a serrated knife, you can saw it back and forth, but I prefer to pop it. All right, so once you have your styrofoam balls in half, go ahead and have the grown-up take the knife, put it away. We don't need it anymore. All right, so we do need next the Model Magic. Model Magic is an air dry clay, so it's gonna require some drying time. Overnight it'll get hard, and that's something with this blue. I didn't realize when I bought it there was a hole in there, so don't leave your Model Magic out if you have some left over or it will dry up. This, see, it gets really chunky. It's kind of foamy, the Model Magic is. All right, so I'm just gonna roll each one of my Model Magic colors into a ball and just get them over here close by. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the styrofoam balls into planets. We're not making our own solar system. You're making a solar system of planets that you would like. You can name the solar system after yourself or after somebody else, or it can be whatever you want it to be. All right, so the Model Magic. I'm gonna pinch off to start with a little bit of yellow, and I think I'll do orange. Be careful when you start to mix. Green does not mix with any color that we're using except for yellow. Okay, so my orange, I'm gonna make a ball, and then I'm actually rolling that ball into a worm. Then I'm gonna take my yellow, just the pinches I took off, and I'm rolling it into a worm. I've got 2 similar sized worms, and I'm gonna take the ends, and I'm gonna twist. I'm slowly twisting them together. What I'm doing is I'm gonna marble my dough. So look, now once I have that, I squish it back together, I roll it in a ball, and then I'm gonna do it again. So as I do this, pull it apart, roll it out, roll this one out. Now I'm gonna twist them together again. This twisting motion allows us to get a marbling effect for our planet. And then when I squish it back together, you'll begin to see, I'm gonna show you a close-up of this. See how it's nice and marbled? Now, once I have it back in a ball and I've marbled it like I want, I'm using my fingers and I'm gonna start squishing it. It's really the action I'm doing. Squishing it with my fingers. I'll get it to a certain point, and now I am able to take that and I'm gonna push and stretch it to cover that styrofoam ball. Now, if you have little places like that tear a little bit, you can get another piece, just warm it up in your hand. You can put that right on top of there. okay? But most of the time, I've got enough and I can just push it over the top. So I'm gonna push it. This is gonna be my first planet. It's only going to be half of the planet, so we can glue it flatly onto our canvas. I'm just making sure I don't need to cover the bottom, but I'm getting enough so that it overlaps over my edges. Then I'm gonna come back with my thumb and my fingers and I'm gonna smooth it out. Okay, once I get that, that can either be my completely done planet or I can do something now like you weren't supposed to. You can mix green and yellow, but you can't mix green and orange. But now I can take the green, I can roll it into a worm, and if I want to, I can make, say for example, my planet has a ring around it, okay? So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna, just be careful because now the green is stuck to it, whether I want that or not, and I guess I'll just leave it because it has decided to stay. Go ahead and make your planets with the model magic. Once you have all of your planets done, set them somewhere so that they can get hard. It may be overnight, but you can go on to the next part and even finish the project while these continue to dry out. But do find a place to set these aside out of your painting space. And then we'll be back for the next part. Once you get your planets done, set them aside, grab your canvas and your paint and be ready to go. Okay, here's another planet that I made. That one reminds me a little bit of, like, I think Mario. Somebody has that mushroom. Anyway, it looks a little bit like a mushroom, but I've made 2 planets. I'm gonna continue working on planets, but I wanted you to know that you don't just have to marble, you can do it this way as well. And then if you want any of your planets to have their own moon, don't put styrofoam in the middle, but you can just roll a little ball and shape it, and that can be like a moon that's orbiting around whatever planet it is, okay? So again, set those aside once you have everything done, and you're gonna take out your canvas. So you can see my space is covered. This is a tablecloth that I've already painted on actually. So you do want your space covered. You wanna wear something to keep paint off your clothes, and you want a pretty good size brush. So I have a nice good size brush. I have my paint tray, and I am going to take the black paint, and I am going to take my brush and I'm just going to paint my canvas black. Should be pretty easy. It can go on pretty fast. I don't want to leave streaks of paint. Notice that I'm using a swish swish back and forth kind of motion. The first thing I want to do is just get the canvas covered. So as soon as your canvas is all the way covered, then you're going to blow dry it and grab your, let's see, I'm getting this. So get it all the way done, and then you're gonna grab your toothbrush and the white or yellow paint, or it can be white paint and yellow paint, all right? Okay, my canvas is dry. I have a couple spots that are not, but the way you can tell that your canvas is dry is if it's dull. So this over here is a little bit shiny, so I know that part's not dry. Make sure after you've blow dried it, any brush you use needs to go in hot soapy water. You can rinse it and dry it really good, and then that way you don't end up ruining your brush. If acrylic paint dries inside of a paintbrush, it has to go in the trash can because it won't work anymore. So the next thing you're gonna need is that toothbrush. Grab it, you're gonna get some white paint and or some yellow paint. I'm gonna do white, and I think I will get some yellow. Now remember, I'm pouring mine into a paint tray. I would recommend pouring out a little bit onto a paper plate because you're gonna end up using, you have 2 canvas projects, and so, and then in addition to that, a wood one. So you're gonna be using your acrylic paints more than once. All right, my toothbrush. I put it so that the brush itself is pointing down towards the canvas. This goes kind of to my belly, and then I'm going to use my finger and I'm going to pull the bristles back and flick paint on here. So I'm dipping the end of the paintbrush, the bristles, and I'm going to start flicking. And this is how I'm going to make my galaxy. All right, so we're going to go boop, boop, boop. It's a pretty fast process. You can then take yellow and you can repeat with yellow the same thing. You can do as much as you like. It will be really necessary as soon as you're done to go to the bathroom and wash your hands really good. Okay, then we're gonna let this dry and we'll be back to add the planets. All right, we're ready for the last part of the project. So I have my splatter painted black galaxy. I also put yellow on there, so I did both yellow and white splatters. I didn't go wash my hands, even though I told you to. Now I'm gonna take the planets that I made. I only ended up making 2, but I certainly would make more. And I'm going to lay them out where I want them, and then I'm gonna grab some glue. You have a little tub of glue, and on top of the lid, I believe it just says glue. It's clear, it's very thick, and it is a tacky glue. If you try to use, like if your mom has a hot glue gun, the hot glue will actually melt the styrofoam. So I'm gonna put these on here. Again, mine have not set overnight yet, but when I put my planets on my canvas, it will be just fine because they will continue to dry later. And so I can go ahead and glue them down, and then I can let the glue dry. I'm gonna put this little guy on there too, and let my planets with the styrofoam or the Model Magic on it dry all at the same time. Anyway, put your planets wherever you want them, create your little galaxy, and then your canvas is done. I hope you had fun.